Hey guys, I am Abeer. Welcome back to my channel. This is day 5 of the 7-day Python masterclass that I'll be teaching y'all. So let's get started. So the first topic for today are if-else statements. So they're just statements which check if a certain condition is true or if it's false. So the if part checks a condition. If it is true, then it executes the line which are indented and within the if statement. Otherwise, there is a else written there, and the block below it, the block of code, that is executed. And there is another thing known as elif. Let me show you. So we'll assign a variable. Let's do condition is true. Condition is a boolean value, so it's true. Now let's make an if-else statement. If condition is true. A quick tip for you: if you want to check if something is equal to true, there's no need for putting these double equal signs to check that, and also the true part. So what you can just do is remove this if condition. So in Python, any condition, not the variable, like the actual conditions, if they don't have a double equal sign and checking for something, Python is going to assume that you're saying that if condition is true, which in this case we do want that. So if condition is true, you put a colon there, and when you hit enter, you see that there are these 4 spaces before in the new line. So it's called indenting. So let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is where the lines are. So another 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. So if condition is true, we want to print hello world. So now let me show you elif. Elif is basically the second if condition in a block. If condition is true, then print hello world. Else if it's else if basically. Then let's print something and check if something is false. Then you can just do if not condition. So the not means that if condition is false, and without the not or any condition, it just means if the condition is true. Okay. Else if the condition is 10, else. So this else is like if this condition is not met or this condition is not met, then any other scenario as we had here. Otherwise, for all scenarios, the code in the else block is executed. So that's what this is. If none of these are met, then for any scenario that this condition can be in, any state this condition can be in, it'll execute. So it will just print that out, and so here it prints out hello world, and that happens because, let me just start the slideshow here. So it prints out hello world here because the if else statement, it checks this if block. The first block it checks if condition, which means if condition is true, print hello world. It sees it, it ignores everything else and executes this print statement here. If we were to change it to false, if now we change it to false, condition is false. So not condition, elif not condition, which means if this is not true, check if this is true or false. Not condition means if condition is false, then execute this, see you world. Now if we were to change condition to something else like 10, let's say. So this, anything this means any value. If we convert it into boolean, it gives 1, and that's the value of true. So we might need to remove this. We can comment it out. So put hashtags after it and make this if. That should work now. Yeah, I don't know what the condition is. So it printed out hello world earlier because anything which is not false is true in Python. Hope that makes sense. So if else statements, this is the syntax, you know. Now we have while loops. So they're loops, like you keep on repeating them over and over and over and over. So they run as long as a certain condition is true, and as soon as that condition becomes false, they stop running. And you can give them a specific place to stop. Let's say they run 5 times, you say stop. And the stopping depends on other factors as well that we'll learn later about inputs. The code within is executed endlessly. Let me show you an example. So if we were to remove this, while true, and do not run this on your machine if it is very weak, because what this is going to do, it's going to start an endless while loop. So while true basically means keep on running and running and running, never stop. Like you're running 500-kilometer marathon, like never stop. Okay, while true, print hi. So this is known as an infinite loop. Let me show you. See, it's printing hi, 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 hi. It's printing and it's not stopping. Like you can scroll down. See, it keeps on printing new and new ones, okay? So I just pressed Control C to interrupt it. So I don't want it to run forever and ever. And you can see that in like under 5 seconds, I think it was, under 7 or 10 seconds, it printed out all of this. So you don't want an endless while loop if the code within it is like a lot. You don't want that. So what you can do, while, and I'll make a new variable here. I'll name it counter. Counter is 5. So we can do while counter is greater than 0, print hi. And now what you can do is with each iteration of the while loop, you can decrease counter. So you can do that with counter minus equals 1. I don't think I talked about the minus equal and plus equal. So what this is saying, counter is -1. So this is the minus, if you want to add something or subtract something from an integer on iterations, you do this. So counter is the original value of counter, which will be 5. Then you subtract 1 from it, so now counter becomes 4. Then it checks this condition again, counter is still greater than 4. It prints this, then it decreases it by 1, makes it 3, then 2, then 1, then 0. So as long as it reaches 0, it stops running. And a shorter way to write this is minus equals 1. And you can also do this for addition. So instead of writing counter is counter plus 1, you can do counter is counter plus equals 1. And you can put any value here. You can do 5, you can do any integer value here. So I save that, and if I run it, then my typing. Okay. No, thank you. Okay. Here you see it printed out high 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is because on each iteration of this while loop, counter was decreased by 1. So it went, oh, counter is over 5, over 0, let's print high. So that's once. Then decrease it, made it 4. It's still more than 0. That makes it 2 times. It printed high. Then it went to 3, then it went to 2, then it went to 1. And after 1, when it met this, counter minus equals 1. So that made counter equal to 0. Then it went over here and said, oh, counter is more than 0. No, because 0 is not more than 0. So it stopped running the while loop. Okay. And there is also a thing known as break, but we won't go into it right now. So break is basically used when you're using inputs. Mostly it's used when you're using inputs, but we won't go into them right now. Okay, so here's an example. Wow. So today's practice problem for you guys, you need to write a while loop which runs until a certain variable is less than 10. So it starts out more than 10, then it keeps on decreasing, and in each iteration the variable increases by 2. So if a certain variable is less than 10, which means it starts at something below 10, and on each iteration you increase it by 2. Okay, so if you were to start from 0, first iteration becomes 2, then 4, then 6, like that. So inside the while loop, add an if-else statement that checks whether the same variable is equal to 10. Okay, and when that condition is met, when the same variable is equal to 10, print var is 10. Okay, I hope you guys find the solution to this and you find it easy. So that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you on day 6 of the 7-day Python masterclass. Peace.